Thank you, Ryan. So this is actually my second time at Tokyo Fail Club. And when Riley told me, Yoshi, I want you to speak again, I was like, yes! And I was like, wait a minute, is this a good thing? Like, am I fucking up that much in life? But I guess I am. So, all right. So how do I move this thing? Okay, here we go. So, call myself Tsuyoshi Mr. Fuck Up Domoto. Been fucking up since 1988, so pretty much my whole life. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the presentation. I was at a party last week, they were giving out these things, and I decided to keep it, and it's wearing it, so nothing to do with the presentation. All right, so what is my project? So it's still in existence. It hasn't shut down yet. So my project is called Akiya Air. It is a platform to assist foreigners in finding, buying, renovating, managing, and monetizing Akiya homes in Japan. So where did this whole journey start? So in 2023, I was at a really sort of dark point in my life. I was burnt out. I was really unhappy with how things were going with my job. And I was like, you know what? It's career suicide in Japan to take a career break, but I'm going to take this. So I took a career break, and as a 35-year-old, I moved back in with my parents, you know. And the first month, my mom and dad were like, hey, Yoshi, it's so good to have you back, you know, we love you, blah, blah, blah. Second month, my dad's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, get out of here, you know, you're 35 years old, like, you should be making your own, you get the hell out of here. So I was like, okay, Dad, fine. Let me go to Bali, so I think there's a theme here. I went to Bali to learn programming, front-end development, because I was like, coding can't hurt, you know. I'll probably be able to find a job if I join this boot camp. So I went to Bali, learned how to code. And it was in Bali where I met a lot of digital entrepreneurs, digital nomads, entrepreneurs from all over the world. So people who are in their 20s, 30s, early 40s, who are unfortunately like priced out of their own housing markets. So all these guys were working in Bali because they couldn't afford to live in their home countries. And around the same time, CNN released this big article that said, Japan has a reverse housing crisis. There's 9 million abandoned homes. And it's going to double to 18 million in the next 10 years. So I was like, all right, guys, I need to come up with like an MVP, right, within this boot camp. So I was like, if I create a platform that kind of looks like and feels like Airbnb, that helps all of you search for this dream house in Japan, like, would you be interested? And all of my American friends, Canadian friends, European friends, Singaporean friends were like, yeah, Yoshi, I want a house, oh, I want a house, oh, I want a house. I was like, whoa, damn, like all of you guys like Japan that much? And that really sort of inspired me, encouraged me to embark on this journey. So my first fail-up, I put all of my eggs in one basket, and I did not get funding. That is an actual screenshot of a 35-year-old man's bank account in Japan, Mitsubishi UFJ. 7,009 yen. Thank you. I really put it all out there in that Antler program that I joined. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for this. You know, I'm going to risk my entire life and my entire life savings. If I don't get out of this, I'll just die. Whatever, you know. And then I enrolled in it, and unfortunately, we had a lot of talented entrepreneurs. Some who are sitting here today. Jared, I'm looking at you, man. You're a talented member. So, and there were 7 startups that got funded out of the program. Unfortunately, my startup wasn't one of them. And so this was the situation I was in, and I had to sell my Pokemon cards. My Pokemon card from 1996. And yeah, I know, right? Charizard, I was saving it for my grandkids one day, but unfortunately I had to sell it all, and that's how I paid my engineers during January and February of this year. So the lesson learned, it's okay to date multiple partners, VCs, it's okay to talk to multiple VCs and to flirt with them. It's totally okay to do that. Don't sort of put all your eggs in one basket. And also save those Pokemon cards, guys. Save those Pokemon, especially the ones from 1996. Please save them. All right. So, fail-up number 2. I ended up somehow getting an office in Shinjuku Nichome. And Shinjuku Nichome is a great place, fun place. I was there for Halloween last year. Super fun place. But ideally, it's probably not a great place for an office. Because I get client calls sometimes, and then they're like, oh, Yoshi, we're visiting your office, Akiya Air. We just got up at Shinjuku Nichome. Where is it? I was like, all right, guys, So you get out of the station, you turn left, and they're like, oh, I see Banana Club. I'm like, don't go into Banana Club. Please don't go into Banana Club. You keep on going down the street. They say, oh, I see Golden Finger. No, don't go into Golden Finger. Maybe if that is your thing, you can go there, but then don't come to Akiya Air. And it's super hard to like really guide people. And so the lesson I learned there is visit your office before you put down the deposit and sign the contract. I was in Pakistan attending my best friend's wedding at the time, so I could not visit my office, and my co-founder just booked this place, and here we are. I'm still there right now, so come visit us, Shibuya, fun place. Fail number 3. I proposed too early and experienced an unfortunate co-founder breakup. So like I said, I joined the Antler program, and they were wonderful entrepreneurs, really brilliant entrepreneurs. And I met one guy who was perfect on paper. He had the right credentials, right experience and everything. And we agreed on equity terms, and I proposed to him. I was like, hey, will you be my startup founder for life? He was like, yes, Yoshi. It's all lovey-dovey. But after 2-3 months, we started to see the cracks. And January of this year, we had a really difficult but unfortunate co-founder breakup. So yeah, the lesson learned out there is don't get married too early unless you're truly ready. You really need to really get to know that person. 3 weeks is definitely not enough. So, and also don't let your parents or your VCs force marriage onto you, right? Like really fight back to those VCs unless you're truly ready. So that's a lesson learned. Next, fail number 4. So this happened like literally a week after my co-founder breakup, but I lost my website in 24 hours. After disagreement with my previous agency partner. So I met a really brilliant team in Bali, Indonesia, when I was doing my boot camp. And they were like, Yoshi, I love your idea of Akiya. Let me help you create this website for you. So we decided to partner with them. And design-wise, they were fantastic. They were great. But January of this year, they said, okay, we want to talk about a contract extension, right? I'm going to charge you guys 20% of revenue going forward. 20% of my revenue, right? I was like, guys, we're a startup, I'm barely paying myself, I can barely pay my engineers, 20%, like, can we, kind of be a little bit rude? No. 20%, nothing. We couldn't agree, my website was down 24 hours. Blank screen. Customers, Yoshi, what the hell's wrong with your website? It's down, like, I can't search my Akiya. I'm so sorry, I'm not sure you see. So, lesson there is the importance of actually owning your source code. Regardless of which agency you develop with, make sure in your contract, at the end of the day, you own your source code, or you can buy them out. Because otherwise, you end up being in the same situation as I am. Number 5, and this was again, a couple days after my website went down. So at this point, like, I'm desperate, guys. The database got hacked, and I was asked to pay 0.02 Bitcoin, which is 95,000 US dollars. So one day I get a message on Slack, and one of my engineers is like, Yoshi, all your properties are missing. I'm like, what do you mean they're missing? And they're like, we have a note in MongoDB that says you gotta pay 0.02 Bitcoin or otherwise you're not gonna give us our data back. And I was like, what? And then we checked and there was this one note that said you gotta send us this money in this wallet, otherwise we're not gonna get your properties back. And so I lost my website, lost my entire database, lost my co-founder. Life was tough, guys. Life was really, really tough, I'm not gonna lie. And this was just a month ago. So the lesson learned, don't blindly trust your engineers, even as a non-technical founder like me. Make sure you secure the database yourself. Do that hard work, learn, and secure that database yourself. All right, so my last fuck up. And before all these fuck ups, I want to share just one of the biggest fuck ups that really almost resulted in me not being able to even present here today. So this was fail up number 6. A little over a year ago, I nearly jumped off this bridge in Porto, Portugal. Portugal was one of my the countries I wanted to visit the most. It was like my dream destination. And when I was in Portugal, I had a call with my former boss, the company that I was working for at the time. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the role that I had been working so hard to get up to that point in my career. And I think the mistake that I made there was I equated my self-worth with my title and what I was doing. And when that was kind of taken away from me, I really felt absolutely worthless, to the point that that whole day I remember, like, I don't even know why, but I decided first that After I got off that call, because I think it was Tokyo at night, it was still in the morning in Porto, I went to a graveyard. So I was walking around the graveyard by myself, just mindlessly wandering through the city, and then I went to the top of this bridge, and then I looked down. And then when I looked down, I saw the faces of both my dad and my mom. And when I saw them, I could not jump. I could not jump. So I took a step back, and I said, all right, Yoshi, let's figure out this thing called life. It's not easy, but let's really figure this thing out called life. So the lesson I learned is that as long as there is life, there's still hope in us. This is really one of the biggest things I want anybody here to take away. As long as there is life, there is hope. And I want to end with this quote. In Japanese, it says, 挑戦し続ける限り、それは失敗ではない. As long as you keep trying, it is not failure. Say that again. As long as you keep trying, it is not failure. Keep failing, keep going, guys. Thank you very much.